It's your girl Melissa D, your activation specialist, Minister Mel. I am so excited to be back in the studio. Woo! Yes, y'all. You may not know it, because I hide it real well. I haven't been in the studio in about a month. Y'all was seeing pre-recorded shows. Just took a little bit of a break, but I'm home, y'all. I'm back, ready to do this, and I'm joined with these amazing men, my brothers Justin Kernan on my left, give it up for Justin, and Mike Glanton Jr. on my right, and we ready to get to this today. I am excited. This is the day the Lord has made. We gonna rejoice. The sun is out. Put a jacket on, though. Don't go out there trying to be extra cute and everything. Y'all be sounding like me. Now, if y'all hear a little bit of frog in my throat, don't y'all talk about me. I need the saints to get together and pray today. Y'all pray the Lord's strength over my voice. But y'all, I'm always, this is excited to be here. This is always my happy place here at the Activation Hour with me, your girl Melissa D on 108 Praise Radio. And if you've been following, y'all already know what it is. It was election week, right?
Yes, it was.
And I mean, I'm happy that, everything is over, because a lot of people will y'all stop calling my phone and hitting up my mailbox?
Oh, it's not over yet.
It's not over.
It's not over yet.
Not here locally. We have people all over the world, but it has been one heck of a race here in Atlanta locally. We're going to get into some of that. But today's topic, if you've been connected with us on social media, is beyond the election. And this one is especially near and dear to my heart. If you know me, I'm definitely an advocate for community support, for being an engaged, responsible citizen. There's no reason for ignorance. There's information all over the place. And these two guys are actually men that I go to for information, especially this one over here, Justin Kernan. And I'm actually going to go ahead and introduce these amazing guys in. And to learn more about them, you can go to my website at melissadwhite.info. Their bios are there. Follow them. I'll let them tell, where to connect with them. Shout them out, follow them, support their causes, because they are doing amazing things out in the community. So again, to my left, my friend, my brother, fellow college alum, we go way back. Justin Kernan, an experienced civic engagement officer. You know what? Before I even read your bio, it's so funny when you know people personally and you're like, man, I didn't even know. I didn't know all of this about you. So I'm honored to read this amazing information about Justin Kernan, an experienced civic engagement expert known for his expertise in government relations and communications. Justin received both his bachelor's of Arts in Speech Communication with an emphasis on public relations and a Master's of Public Administration from Valdosta State University. Shout out VSU, Blazer for life, go Blazers. Yeah, can you tell I'm a fellow Blazer? Okay. Justin is a self-described New Yorker, and he will let you know that all day, every day, but he has a touch of Southern charm. Born in Harlem, but raised in Stone Mountain. Shout out to the East Side. Currently, Justin is a governmental relations associate with the Georgia Municipal Association. In his fundamental role, he has the privilege of serving as a lobbyist at the Georgia State Capitol on behalf of more than 520 cities. We got that many cities in Georgia? We deep in Georgia. There's a lot. He's going to tell you more about it. And it basically makes up the association's membership with those 520 cities. Throughout his professional career, Justin has committed himself to making an impact in both the office and outside in his community. And he's definitely doing just that. A belief and practice that was instilled in him at an early age. Justin gives back by teaching civic engagement, legislative process, exponential, get it out, Melissa, exponential learning and communications courses. And now out of all of that, he still finds time to teach Bible study at the Greater Piney Grove Baptist Church here in Atlanta. Shout out Piney Grove, shout out Yams. Look, that's my people. I feel like I'm an honorary Yam since I kick it with you. I am honorary.
That's my home church.
That's your home church too?
Well, it used to be, but
you still there. We all there.
You back home.
Look, so, if you didn't catch that in Justin's introduction, he is the perfect blend of what this show represents. Y'all know the Activation Hour is about ministry in the marketplace. So he's in the marketplace doing his thing in government affairs, but he still knows his roots are grounded in ministry and in the church. So shout out Justin Kernan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Man, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Feeling great.
Yeah, you're looking very legislative today with the blazer and all of that. You look.
I'm missing a bow tie.
Where's the bow tie? You always rep a bow tie.
I know.
All right, that's cool,
it's
though.
called Saturday.
It's called Saturday? But look, you come suited. I mean, you suited and booted, though.
Saturday.
He said it's called Saturday while Mr. Glanton sitting here with his shirt. Now, let me tell you about Mike Glanton.
Must
Jr.
I follow all that Justin that you just read about him?
Look, you know, we all got a little resume, a little something going on. I'm gonna tell you guys about Mike Glanton Jr. to my right. He is a father, small business owner, community advocate, political strategist, former legislative policy director, and most importantly, an agent for change. Mike is running for the Georgia State office because he believes that time has come. He is a senatorial candidate here in the state of Georgia, and his campaign is fueled by all people of different races, ages, socioeconomic status, gender, identity, disabilities, sexual orientation, religious beliefs, backgrounds, and ethnicity. But one thing that unites us all is our hunger for change. And if you're tuning in, that means that you are interested in and have a hunger for change, because we're going to talk about going beyond the election. He is changing Georgia, not later, not tomorrow, not next year, but today, right now. Even just by being here, we're hoping that this evokes some change. Mike is a staunch advocate for exceptional, well-funded public schools, respectable paying jobs, access to quality health care, affordable housing, safer neighborhoods, and a future-forward transit here in the state of Georgia. And I love his statement at the end. Georgia must be a state of opportunity, promise, and equality for every Georgian. Our time is now. It's time for a change. Welcome to the show, Mike Glanton Jr. What's good?
Hey, I'm blessed to be here.
Blessed to be here.
Happy to be here.
I know, right? I'm excited to have y'all on. Let's just jump right into it. Guys, if you're tuned in, what's up?
I want to just add one thing.
Please.
Let me please. We will all be obliged. Let's tell all the veterans happy Veterans
Please,
Day.
yes! Happy Veterans Day.
I have several
Yes,
of them in my
thank
family,
you.
so I wanted to shout out to all of the veterans
Yeah.
in my family. And then today is my sister's birthday, who is
Yay!
a veteran as well too. So
Yeah.
happy birthday.
What's your sister's name? You gotta tell her her name.
Her name is Letitia Glanton Felton, but we call her name is Nikki. So
Okay.
she already know what it is.
Shout out, happy birthday, Letitia, Nikki, our sisters of the show. All right, so I hope you're tuning in. And if y'all listening, call up here. If you're a veteran, we want to hear from you so we can thank you for your service. And if you want to connect and just ask questions about our topic today, beyond the election, give us a call, 770-988-6461. Y'all got it? All right, let's get down to business, y'all. All right, look. Y'all already know what the deal is. Every Saturday I open up with the same question because it's relevant to who we are. The activation hour. What it means, what the activation hour is. It's that moment in your life, basically when it's a defining moment where there's a shift in your life. You know you'll never be the same. There's like a revelation that happens when you're like, okay, this is my purpose. I know I'm supposed to be doing something or something specific in my life. And for you guys, your area of influence happens to be politics and government. How did you even know that's where you were planning and where you're supposed to make a change? And I'll start with Justin and then Mike, whoever wants.
That is a very interesting question, and it's something that gets renewed, quite often.
Okay.
How I knew I wanted to be interested in politics.
Yeah.
I guess it started. I didn't even realize it. All of these moments just kept adding up, and when I was my interest in politics started off when I was a very small child. I was in New York, and David Dinkins got elected to be the first black mayor in New York City.
Okay.
I was like, wow, there's a black guy that's going to be the mayor in New York. Okay, that's cool. And then my dad took us out of school one day when Nelson Mandela was freed from prison, and we went to go see the parade. And like, wow, he's going to be the president of South Africa. That's cool. And then the third moment was when Chuck Burris, most people don't know that name, but Chuck Burris was the first black mayor of Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't know.
And so that happened as I was leaving high school. Wow, Chuck Burris is a black mayor of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Stone Mountain
Yes,
was quoted,
and all the controversy there with the
exactly,
Confederate monuments and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. And so starting to see all of that stuff happen, and that always stayed in my mind. And then it wasn't until I went to Chicago after we left Valdosta State University. Ended up moving to Chicago, Illinois, and I was in Chicago, and there was a young man by the name of Barack Obama that was running for the presidency of the United States. And again, this is a first black man for a position of prominence within government. I'm like, you know what? It's time to make a shift.
Okay.
And I need to start doing things and working in politics. And so I quit my full-time job in Chicago, packed up everything, moved back to Valdosta, and decided to take up a master's in public administration. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I have to focus and I have to try to get into this space. And I ended up as an intern at the Capitol back in the day with Mike. And I was an intern at the Capitol, and then things grew from that point. I kept getting people that gave me opportunities to advance my career, and it kept growing. And once I got bit by that political, but the first day I walked into the state Capitol, I said, "Oh, this is home."
It's a pretty majestic place. It does something to you. You feel like this is where like power sits here and change happens here, and it's a pretty cool place.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing story. So there were like different points and people of influence. It wasn't just one particular thing.
Right.
It was just, to me, this is what I heard, and you saying that you saw yourself in those people. Like, wait, they look like me, and so that means it's possible for me and others like me.
Representation matters.
It really does.
Representation matters, and a lot of times we don't know that we can achieve something or be in a particular space until we see someone doing it, and it takes a first. But we can also be the first. We don't have to always wait for someone else to do it. We can also be the first. But it was really awesome for me. It was awesome to see all of those firsts happening, and then so. Well, I'm gonna get in that space. I haven't been the first to anything yet, but
you will
there's
be.
still some opportunities.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an amazing story. So, Mike Glanton, what's your activation hour? I'm really curious to hear this, to know how you got to this point of running for Senate seat.
Well, at this point, man, it's just it's nothing short of amazing. It's God's promise and God's purpose. For one, I think mine started for me a long time ago. I wanted to be a preacher and a lawyer. The lawyer didn't happen. Who knows about the preacher one day? But officially, it happened about 12 years ago when my father decided to run for the Georgia House of Representatives. And although I was a person that loved politics in terms of geography and different things from social studies, just like Justin, when I walked in those halls of that Capitol, to be able to feel that, that feeling, of, wow, once before we weren't allowed to be here. We didn't belong here.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's
now, I walk through the halls of the Georgia State Capitol as if I own the building,
He does.
Tell the truth about it. Man, they know your name in there.
It's amazing because, I remember things just happen. And 12 years ago, even being motivated by young men like Justin, I remember the first time I saw Justin, I was like, dang, he's alive, isn't he belong down here? Like, that was motivating to me.
Yeah.
And to be able to go back out in the community and see the need for more young, energetic representation to not only just bring that youthfulness to the table, but bring that relatability to the table, that accessibility, and that opportunity to educate, teach, and help people understand politics, not from a secondhand view, not from what they saw on the news. I remember sitting down with family and friends watching the 5 o'clock or the 6 o'clock news after being in the Capitol all day, and they're looking like, oh my God, they said that. I was like, you know what, you see that balcony right there? I was standing right there. I heard it firsthand.
Yeah.
So it's important to me to be that instrument of change, to be able to help other people who felt like that they couldn't, because at one point in my life, I was so far astray, I never saw this moment. And for me to be at this moment, even the people that believe in me, that support me now, for me to be in this moment now, it's God's purpose. And I wanted to run for a lot of things. It didn't happen. But when I did decide to be for real and officially put my name on the ballot to be able to be a senatorial candidate in the state of Georgia, it's a ride. It's fun, and it's amazing. And just to think about the opportunity that I'm going to have to change and help people from positive legislation, helping people and working with people like Justin in terms of putting our minds together and making sure it gets done. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready for this journey. I'm ready for everything that comes with it.
Absolutely. And that's the word I kept thinking of, journey. Like, literally, it's not so much the destination of when you are elected. it's everything it took to get there. That's the making of who you are in the process. I think oftentimes, we look at elected officials. How much do we know about the journey for them to even get there? What even led to, like, I looked at those types of things in this particular local election because I'm like, who are these people? Because they were coming out the woodworks. I'm like, wait, I don't know. Like, there were names I didn't know. I had to really do my homework. And shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to all the organizations who had forums to educate the community, and especially because I got a tie-in ministry in the marketplace here, to the churches that got involved and the faith-based organizations and the houses of worship. Because I especially as a minister, and being involved in civic action, it's our duty. I mean, even in the Word, and I started researching to prepare for this. Like, it's biblical. Mike Lattin and I talked about this the other night. Like, it is biblical. There was a time in the history of this world where kings, those in power and government, would consult with the church, with the priest, and at some point, that it all kind of got confused, the separation of church and state and things like that. But I think for those who are Christians and who are rooted in their faith, it definitely plays a part in what you do when it comes to government in terms of your moral conscience. And whoever wants to take this, how do you think, or for you personally, how does your faith affect the decisions you make when it comes to local government and civic action? How does it take effect?
I think we both can take that, right?
Absolutely.
Whoever.
Why don't you go first? I went first last time.
Well, my religion is real big in my life. And one thing I tell people, and one thing that I really believe in, is that I will be willing to negotiate and compromise on any and everything except for my Christian values and my views. When it comes to how I feel and how I interject with legislation and policy and community advocacy, it's all rooted from my Christian values and my Christian views. And if I can't proceed with that, then I'm making decisions based on me as a man and what I think, instead of seeking guidance from the man above. And that's where I will not waver on that, and I stand firm on that. And that's just, I think we have to believe in something. Absolutely.
Justin, you want to contribute to that?
I'll just simply say that I wouldn't be here, if it wasn't for, I didn't do anything to get myself to this point. All of the doors that have been opened up, for me were as a result of my faith and God using vessels in order to provide me this opportunity. And so I owe it, to them to just, keep going and to stand firm. And there's a lot of, if we're gonna be, just completely honest and transparent, there's a lot of aspects of our lives that we give to God, and then there's some things that we withhold from God. Please go there. And so, in my career path, that's not something that I hold back, from God, because I feel that, hey, you know what? I've trusted you in the past, and you've provided these opportunities, for me. Why would I stop doing that? And it's so amazing when people, what's your next move? I don't know.
That's so
I'm
funny.
waiting for the Lord to direct my path on that one, because I don't have to make that decision for myself at this moment. Because if I would have chosen a career path, I wouldn't have been in this place that I am in right now.
That's real.
Great answer.
That's an excellent answer. Oh man, that's so real to me even today. Like, you were joking coming in like, man, Melissa got a radio show. Melissa didn't choose this. I didn't just choose when they said, I think I'm going to go be a minister. Didn't know. Nothing but the Lord. I saw a meme recently that said, Jesus or God is my business partner. The reality is he's not my business partner. He's the CEO. Like, I answer to him. It's a partnership in the sense that he gives instruction. But if I imagine sometimes like, man, if only everybody really did govern that way. And that's even like scripture in Proverbs 16:22. It says, it's an abomination for kings to do evil, for the throne is established by righteousness. So these positions were established on religious principles with the cloak of righteousness. What happened to righteousness? And I'm not going to get on that seat, but I had to throw that out there to say.
That's a whole show.
That's a whole, like all this stuff. Look, man, I told these guys there's going to be a part 2 to this, because I think there's a level of responsibility, and that's where, and I told them both, I said, as much as I love the church, I am the church. I'm an advocate of the church, and we have to do more to hold people accountable and call them out when things that are not of God, that are not, and it's especially crippling when it's not even of God, but it's illegal. Like, if you are immoral and illegal and not of good moral report, you have to ask yourself, am I really doing good in the community? And that's where this beyond the election conversation happens. It's up to us as constituents to hold those accountable. Absolutely. Right? So that's where I want to kind of go into your individual roles and how you both kind of help with the educational aspect to equip people. Like, okay, when we see those immoral things happen, when we see illegal things happen, or just how to be proactive in preventing those things, how do we hold our lawmakers accountable? Just kind of explain from your aspect as a lobbyist, how does that influence legislatures, and how do you help other people learn about that process?
So there's a couple of different things. As a lobbyist, my job is primarily to educate myself on certain issues and then to convince legislators to vote for or oppose different pieces of legislation.
Okay.
That's where that space is. So I'm pretty much, you can take it kind of like a salesman for legislation. That's the easiest way to kind of explain it. You know, I sling these bills.
I was gonna say, what you selling? What you out here selling to people?
In my space, it's professionally, it's mostly public safety and transportation policies. Those are the type of things that I particularly work on. And so for me in that space, I have to know both sides of the story. Whatever I'm trying to get, if I'm trying to get you to vote for or oppose it, I need to know what the other people that are coming to you are saying and all that stuff, so that I can be as educated as possible. And so that when someone is saying that, hey, well, I heard such and such, I'm like, no, that's not the truth. This is exactly how it's going to be.
No alternative facts.
Exactly. We don't play around with those alternative facts. But, you know, that's my job in that space. So what I've decided to do is, because of the fact that I have, you know, I guess like inside information, because of the fact that I work in this process, I've decided to take that information that I've learned about how this process actually works and take it out and give it to the community. It's not my information. It's not my knowledge to just hoard for myself. And there's a lot of people that are always asking how to get involved, how do I, you know, what am I supposed to do?
I know you get that a lot.
You have no idea.
So much so that you even started sharing that information on, is it your Tuesday?
On Tuesday,
on Instagram, yeah.
On Instagram, because of the fact that people have a want for information, how this process works. And so I take that information and I share it as often as I can, as often as my schedule allow me to. But it's just about providing a space that people can actually learn how this process works, so that they can be agents for change. I don't tell people what to support and what to advocate for. My job is just to give you the information so that you can take that and then further whatever the cause that you have is.
Got it. Look, I was doing my homework because I was like, shoot, I'm sitting with some powerhouses today. I need to know what I'm talking about. And so I was researching lobbyists, right? And it says, like, there's a such thing as volunteer lobbyists. Is that correct?
Anyone that, so I'm called a lobbyist because of the fact that I get paid to do this.
Yeah.
I'm thankful and appreciative of
Like,
that.
this your job.
However, the other word for lobbyist is advocate.
Yeah.
Is advocate, and that's what a volunteer lobbyist is. It's
Okay.
an advocate. It's someone that is actually just that cares enough about a cause or an issue that they're willing to speak to their legislators about. And I think there are issues that everyone cares about.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to activate, that network or how to I guess be involved in that space. But it's just
Or the right person to go to.
Or
How
the
many
right
know
person.
like who your legislators are?
Most
Who are
people
your
don't.
local officials?
Most people do.
They don't.
Most people can't tell you who their city council members are, county commissioners, state legislators, state senators, but everybody knows the president. Some people know their congressman, and most people know at least one of their state senators. But on the local level, where most of the decisions happen that govern your life, people don't know.
Yeah, that's true. So, Mike, I want you to contribute on that end in terms of your role. Justin just said, like, most people don't know where to find that information. Help us out. How can people find the information about local officials and even meet with them if they want to, or request a meeting?
I want to say this, like, this is so real. Just looking over there at Justin and us doing this interview together, it brings back my memories of years ago of us being in the Capitol and not knowing that we were going to get to this point now. I know he was, but well, he didn't know either. But just being at this point, man, is awesome, man. And that's exactly why I'm doing this, because the days of people not knowing who their state senator is, their state representative, their city councilman, their county commissioner, their neighborhood watch president. We know who the governor is and the president because they're very polarizing. A lot of people don't even know who the United States senator, United States representative is. Those are things that we must change. That is why I'm doing this. So if I have to take any medium or any platform to be able to advocate for knowing who that person is, not just for the charisma or for the punchlines, but for the work that we're actually doing, to be able to hold people accountable. I've seen elections where people don't want that many people to know that they're actually running, because now you have more people that you have to be accountable for. Now you have more people that are going to ask questions. So that
sounds counterintuitive. Yeah. Like, why would you run and not want people to
Well, I mean, because you can win an election with, I mean, look at the city of Atlanta.
Okay, perfect example.
94,000 people out of a city of millions. Yes. And over 100,000. That's because people were turned off from it, I think, somewhat. Or people find other things to do on that Tuesday. No. I had a whole lot of things to do. I'm a political consultant as well, my day job. I had so many things to do, but you know what? That morning, I made sure that I took my 7-year-old and myself. We went in that voting booth and we voted. We only had one thing on our ballot, but we voted, because that's how important it is to me and it's to our community and our society to make sure that we get engaged. I don't understand it. I don't like to talk to people when they say, "Well, I don't vote because I don't." You don't vote because you don't know. You don't. But that educate yourself.
Yes, you don't vote because you don't know. I think it comes with sometimes people do get a bit apathetic, and as you said something interesting, like did they kind of get turned off by this election? I mean, I know you guys are like all over the world here, but in Atlanta specifically, the ticket was so freaking divided. It was like, I don't know who to listen to about what. Y'all, why don't y'all, some of y'all need to kind of like join forces because you're saying the same thing. Oh. And it was so interesting. And for me, it gave me a headache when I would get 3 or 4 calls a day from somebody trying to tell me about, and I would talk to them. First thing is, if you get calls like during campaign season and somebody's volunteering, like really talk to those people. Because I find it very interesting. I ask tough questions. It's my job in media and in ministry to ask tough questions. And they would like probably be ready to hang up on me. They're like, wait, I don't know. Go to the website. But it's our responsibility.
Absolutely.
And there were cases, I'm not going to name, who the, candidates were. There were cases, I think the volunteer got so frustrated, they would just put the candidate on the phone. I'm like, look, man, can you answer these questions? Yeah.
But that's a good thing, though.
That's a very good thing.
They need to hear directly from the...
I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. And so I think more of us, to your point, Mike, about like apathy or just not caring, we can't afford not to, because the same one of us, I'm not going to say us because I'm not one of them that don't care. For those of you who don't care, you're the same ones that got Cousin Pookie that's locked up somewhere and you mad, but you don't even know who the judge is that's sitting on that seat. You don't even know what the laws were and under which they were.
The judge is until you go in front of them.
Until you have to go in front of them. What do they stand on? What's their platform? You need to know what judges are for what issues and things like that. I researched it because I had to vote for all of that was on our ticket. And I know who, my council member is. Yeah, I know. But then, and I think a part of that, I think it started to matter more to me when I bought a house. I know this gonna sound crazy, but I for real, when I bought a house and I started seeing things going on in my community, I started caring in. I was like, oh, okay.
So I get that tax bill.
Did I get that tax?
I gotta call somebody about
who I need to talk to up there. I got friends. I know somebody that work up there. Lady, shut up. But look, real talk though, I think it's so important. I'm gonna share this just personal reason. They told their reasons why. For me, even being the founder of a nonprofit to educate youth about these things. I remember being a little girl growing up in Birmingham, Alabama. And yeah, Birmingham is progressive, but Birmingham has a history, a deep-seated history. And as a little girl, I remember watching my great-grandmother in the 80s and like the other like elders and leaders in the church, they would have the voting booths like delivered or dropped off to the church, and they would have to guard those booths day and night. And I remember that, as a part of the Civic League, watching them do that. I remember stories from my grandmother about when Birmingham desegregated and they wanted to bus the black kids out of the west side of Birmingham over to Vestavia, Hoover, and other, the white part of town or whatever. And they would not send white kids to our side. She's like, no, for every black child we send, you send a white child. We're going to balance the scales. It's not one-sided. Our communities, deserve equal education. And so I challenge you, we're going to go to a break, but I challenge you to go ask some questions from your family members. Know a little bit of your political history. What have your family members done? You'll be surprised when you talk to your grandparents. Ask them, where were they when things were happening during segregation and when blacks were not allowed to vote freely without restrictions. Start asking questions like that. I think it gives you a personal sense of pride. I think that was it for me. When I knew my family stood for something, I was like, okay, it can't end with me. It can't. So I think, one, you need to be concerned about how it affects you today. But two, understand your past about how we got to where we are.
You don't know where you're going until you know where you've been.
There you go. Real talk. Family, we're going to take a quick break. Y'all better not go nowhere. I mean, you can get some snacks or something, but y'all got to come right back. So you got to come right back because we're going to dig deeper. I'm going to ask these guys, some more, delving questions about how to engage, how to connect. We're talking about beyond the election, whether you're here in Georgia or anywhere else, it is our responsibility, it's our civic duty to vote and to be involved in our communities. I want to hear from you. Call up to the station, 770-988-6461 with Justin Kernan, Mike Lanton Jr. You listen to the Activation Hour on 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. Stay tuned.
Call in.
Bet the bag on myself, I'm not gonna spend my time trying to gather hundreds of you. I'm gonna believe in the power of what God can do with little old me. And I'll lose on that, because it's better to lose trust in God than to win fearing man. You feel me?
Yeah, woke up, glow up, yeah, a lot of y'all still don't know us, so yeah, nothing but Satan, no love, get no love, yeah, but ain't talk, that's my bonus, but my quota, what's that? Boy, don't nobody own us, ACA, that's the law, yeah, Spurge on with the ball, yeah, commas way after calling, Patrick Ewing in the garden, going for my people starving, keeping up with no Joneses, generous with my goal, yeah, boy, don't nobody own us. Squad needed merch, so we bought our own shop. Free is my own hair, but I got it on lock. Counted all lost, counted all lost. Excuse me, I'm just trying to trust God. Finished up my lab, bit of dead for the money God sent. Had to write it on the check. Don't nobody own us, own us. Yeah, this right here ain't alone. Yeah, own it. This my I move forward to focus, focus. Yeah, all of the games, no talk, no talk. What's that? Boy, don't nobody own us. Bet the bag on myself, yeah. Bet the bag on myself, yeah. Bet the bag on myself, yeah. Boy, don't nobody own us, yeah. Bet the bag on myself, yeah. In a lane with myself, yeah. In a lane with myself, yeah. Boy, don't nobody. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No nonsense. Yeah. I talk KBJ, no nonsense. Yeah, yeah. Don't you ever skip my process. Don't you ever skip my process. Does it honor God and conscience? You ask yourself, yeah. You owe nothing but your love, man. Boy, do what you want, man. Was checking out apartments. Yeah. Now I'm taking off on tarmacs. Yeah. Don't be driven by a contract. Yeah. I don't need none of your star stats. I was good way before rap. Wrote these on my guard claps. I want fame where my guard's at. Hip hop won't involve this. Radio hasn't bought this. Way too exhausted. The tap dance for your profits. I'm in love with my coffins. Hold it down before the door slams. Right free on my coffin. Christ rules on my content. Race, faith, and the far shit. Free sons and the daughters. Free sons and the daughters. Boy, don't nobody. I'm in my bag, I'm back to back, compassionate with a pastorate with a fashion sense. Don't try to tell me how to act in this. I'm black and rich in the Nazareth and passages attached to him, little activist with a dash of risk. But I'm back to biz, impacting kids, and the facts are lit. Thinking back on the fact that is that the master is back in this. Kind of fathomless born again, only one man, you man. Woke up, show love. A lot of y'all still don't know us. So what? He said that can't hold. Whoa. Nah, I'ma tell y'all my motor. Boy, don't nobody own us, yeah. Back to back on myself, yeah. Back to back on myself, yeah. Back to back on myself, yeah. Boy, don't nobody own us, yeah. In a lane with myself, yeah. In a lane with myself, yeah. In a lane with myself, yeah. Boy, don't nobody own us.
Bet the bag on myself, you know?
Sir, everybody, back up! He needs here! Move!
Look, I don't need nobody preaching at me right now, okay?
You been out there sleeping with them boys?
No, I ain't gay.
As far as I know, only gay people get HIV, Drake. You mad? You can join us!
Seeing the righteous increase, not forsaking those who are righteous in their pursuit to see justice, those who are righteous in their pursuit of civil action, those who are righteous in their pursuit to educate, inform, and listen to the community. But when the wicked rule, and I ain't calling no names, but enemy, we're coming for your head by educating the community. So real quick, I'm gonna let these gentlemen share their information, how to stay connected, because we're gonna keep our listeners connected to you. I'm gonna be posting some more information, so stay connected on the Activation Hour on Instagram and Facebook. Justin, how can the people stay connected with you?
See what had happened. Well, no, I really do need to get a website, but you can reach me via email at jwkernan. That's JWKIRNON @gmail.com. You can also Facebook. I use my real name. It's Justin Kernan. It's not a nickname or anything like that. And then you can follow me on Instagram at JW Kernan. And Instagram, I do a thing every Tuesday, or not every Tuesday, but some Tuesdays, called Advocacy really Tip Tuesdays, in which I try to just I try to spoon feed advocacy tips to you, because if I give it to you all at once, sometimes it can be like drinking from drinking water from a fire hose. So
information.
Little tidbits of information on there. So just follow me or hit me up if you ever want me or someone like me to come out to your community meetings or to your church or anything to talk about how this legislative process works. Go ahead and shoot me an email, and if I can work it in my schedule, I'll be glad to do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Mike Glanton Jr.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to all of my family and friends and people that don't know me out here watching and listening. Continue to stay engaged. That's what I can tell you, and make sure you vote. Make sure our numbers reflect our passion at these polls. And you can find me on Facebook at Friends of Mike Glanton Jr.
Yep.
And also I have a personal page at Michael Glanton. I don't think Junior's on there, but you'll see my picture.
Yep. And I'm gonna post it. It's on my website too, melissa.dwight.info.
Instagram is at Mike Glanton 2, and my website is www.mikeglantonjr.com. You can go on there and make donations, and learn more about me.
Okay.
Hey,
there you go.
Sound like a preacher then.
Please, yeah.
Or a politician.
Or a politician.
It can go either
Yeah.
way.
So some seeds.
It can go either way.
Look, we're gonna run a little bit longer because there's some more information that I want to make sure you guys get. We're gonna take a real quick break, come right back. Stay connected. Don't forget to check these guys out. Go to Instagram, get your phone in your hand, guys. I want you to go to Instagram, follow Justin Kernan, JW Kernan, and Mike Glenn and Mike Glenn Jr. 2 or Mike Glenn 2 on Instagram.
Mike Glanton too.
Got it. Or on Facebook, Justin Kernan and Friends of Mike Glanton. Okay? So stay connected. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. You're tuned in to the Activation Hour with your girl, Melissa D, Minister Mel, the Activation Specialist on 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel.
We in this thing together. Every boy, every girl, every mother, every father. Just to let you know, we're in this thing together.
Sometimes tragedy takes you by surprise, and then you realize
Things are not the same, yeah. So
you feel like how you wanna stop.
trying to find someone to blame. We're in this thing together. You're my sister, I'm your brother. We're doing this in one day. Whoa.
We're doing this hand in hand. We're building back all our land. Let's show the world how we were made. Yeah.
We in this thing together. We in this thing together. Jump, wipe the tears from your eyes, cause once again we will rise. Yeah. We in this thing together. We in this thing together. Please wipe the tears from your eyes. Yeah. Once again we will rise.
Hold your head up, don't stay down. Very soon it's gonna turn around. United, we're standing strong. Cause tomorrow your joy will come. We are resilient people. We make it through trials and evil.
And this too shall pass, and in the end is only joy will last. We in this thing together. So we in this thing together. Wipe the tears from your eyes, yeah. Once again we'll be rise, yeah. We in this thing together. We in this thing together. Yes, so wipe the tears from your eyes, cause once again we'll be rise, yeah. Natural.
Those are words we stand by as our flags that fly high. We're giving thanks to God every day.
So Barbuda, Dominica, St. Martin, every island hear what we say. We in this thing together. So we love you. We in this thing together. Once again we'll be rise. So wipe the tears from your eyes. Hey. We in this thing together. Natural. We in this thing together. Hey. Wipe the tears from your eyes. Yeah. Once again we'll be rise. Yeah. We in this thing together.
Got your back, so don't cry at all. Don't worry about the food and shelter come from. We stand together and we stand as one.
United we stand, divided we fall. Time to unite so we in one accord. No room to be selfish, lending a hand so we can help our brothers and sister islands. Right.
Truth be told, we are stronger when we stand together. We are with you. You are not alone.
We in this thing together. We in this thing together. So wipe your tears from your eyes, cause once again we'll be rise. Yeah. We in this thing together. We in this thing together. So wipe your tears from your eyes. Yeah. Once again we'll be rise. Yeah. We in this thing together. We in this thing together. Wipe your tears from your eyes, cause once again we'll be rise. Yeah. We in this thing together. We in this thing together.
enough information, and I'm honored. I'm honored that you guys are listening and tuned in. Thank you for the comments, for the messages, for connecting, for sharing this live stream. Keep sharing it. Keep sharing it. We want this to go viral because this is good information that these brothers are sharing. And I want to go deeper and expand a little bit more about what we're talking about in the second half. And what we talked about in the second half, if you missed it, Mike Glanton Jr. dropped some real knowledge on what he's going to do, if elected. And I like that because it's kind of I'm putting that out there for all of y'all who are elected officials, are engaged as policymakers in the community. But you said educate, be resourceful, and to listen. So the two things that you talked about specifically were education, like better education, because businesses look at the level of education or the ranking of education in an area. How, like, if I'm a concerned parent, what are the specific points of education? Because education could mean anything. Are there particular areas we need to focus on, and how can we do that?
Okay, great question. I'm a very strong supporter of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering,
Absolutely.
mathematics. I'm also, and maybe this is in my head, I talk to my policy director about this all the time, and he'll tell me if I can't do it or if I can do it. But my thing is we should start treating education like we treat athletics. When you have colleges that invest in recreation departments because they see studs and that they can run the ball and they can do this, or athletes that are very, very that have a prominent future, then every child in our school system should be treated like that. If they can do research from third grade to the prison pipeline system, then they can do research for how, if you start teaching a kid a skill set at a young age, that how much nurture and ready they will be by the time they get to 10th, 11th grade or something like that. So in my head, I call it the education to workforce feeder system. So where you have these businesses directly getting involved in teaching the skill set. These kids their brains are moving so quickly these days that if I take my 7-year-old and I start getting her interested in movie production, which is, by the way, one of the biggest industries in the state of Georgia, thanks to legislation, you know what I'm saying? But if you can get them involved in how to be producers or how to run a movie set from top to bottom, and you start teaching them that now, by the time they get in 11th, 12th grade, they will be able to be certified and go straight into those careers. I am all for 4-year schools and colleges, 8-year schools, and further your education. But I'm also for not forgetting about the population that doesn't want to go that way. I'm also a very staunch advocate for setting everybody up for the future to be able to succeed.
I love that. I love that you shared specifics, and I think everyone should kind of know a little bit about that, about the economy of your area, of what are the major businesses that are growing and thriving and establishing, rooting themselves in your community, and how can we educate to participate in that. I love and appreciate when industries enter an area and not outsource but use local workforce. Absolutely. I am so grateful and appreciative when that does happen. That's one of the good things about the economic development side of it. And educating on that level, the STEM part of it. I know that's been such a huge thing, but you're so right. Like, everybody's not either going to have the opportunity or even choose to go directly into a 4-year institution. So equip them to, be a contributing member of society by being gainfully employed. Yeah. That reduces crime rates. And that,
everything is directly tied to it. I mean, come on, we don't have places like, institutes like Amazon that want to locate in Atlanta. But if we don't have the workforce or the workforce development or the skill set to be able to provide those people to be able to run those industries, then I see the point of them locating here, but I think that in order for us to put ourselves in a mandatory situation where, hey, if you want to come over here, we want you to employ this, then we need to get them ready. Absolutely.
I love it. That's really good. Justin, you also shared some points about educating, and you shared a couple of websites because I want to make sure people were like, what was that again? Share it one more time, but then also share once they get that information, how they can actually go use it. Like, what would be the process for them to request a meeting with their local, official?
Yeah, so those we'll start off with the websites. And You can go to, if you're here in the state of Georgia, MVP, which stands for My Voter Page, mvp.sos.ga.gov, and one of the better national sites is votesmart.org.
Okay.
Votesmart.org. So you go to those websites, you look up your elected officials, right? And then after that, and you also, like I said, go to your city and your county websites as well. Try to start figuring out who all of these people that are representing you are. Once you get that information, it's up to you to decide what you do with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one's going to tell you what they care about. No one's going to tell you that to get out there and fix the problems. But a lot of times we use quotes like, oh, I'm going to be the change I want to see. Well, start doing it. So if you want to start doing it, go ahead and start reaching out to those folks and follow them on social media. So social media is huge.
Yeah.
And so social media is huge. Once you start finding out who those people are, find them on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every elected official's not as Twitter fingers as certain other people. But find them on Twitter, find them on Facebook, follow them, and also you can go to the city, county, or the county website. You can also go to
That's good.
You can also go to legis.ga.gov, legis.ga.gov. From that website, you can find legislation. You can find your state. Once you know who your state representatives are, you can go to that website. You can see the bills that they've sponsored. You can also play around on it the right way. You can figure out how they voted on certain bills. But the most important thing to do on that website is go to your state legislator, your state senator, or your state representative. You can pull up their email. Once you pull up their email, you can send them an email to request a meeting, but I'm going to share an insider tip with you. You guys listening? Are you ready?
I'm ready. This is good.
Ready? When you go to the website and you click on your state legislator's name, it's going to pull up some information. The most important piece of information on that website is not the legislator's information. It's who their administrative assistant is.
The gatekeeper.
Administrative assistant is the gatekeeper. So if you send that information to the elected official and copy that administrative assistant,
the calendar,
that's another way to get in there. And think about it: if you're sitting there sending their administrative assistant that information, you're not getting a response, and you keep sending it. Now they get annoyed. They're gonna say, "Representative said you got to call this person back." They're blowing up my email.
Squeaky wheel.
That's how they get things done.
Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I'm just saying.
And so find out who that administrative assistant is as well. And then here's the other thing. Y'all not gonna be ready for this one. I know you're not gonna be ready for this.
This
one.
is good stuff.
The other one is during the legislative session, come up to the Capitol.
Yeah.
Don't just watch the stuff that's going on in the session, but go to their offices as well.
Okay.
Go to their offices.
Go during lunch.
They're in there during lunch sometimes. But even outside of that, once you reach out to people, invite your legislator out for a cup of coffee.
And they'll come.
I got something even better for you, Justin.
What you got?
Go to the ropes.
I'm gonna tell you about
the ropes. Okay.
That's where I hang out. The ropes is that's my office during the legislative session. So if you come up to the Capitol and you go outside of either one of the chambers, outside of the Senate or the House chamber, you will see burgundy ropes. You cannot go past that burgundy rope part. But there's you can fill out a form to call your legislator outside of the chamber to come speak with you. And if you put, I am a constituent, I live in your district, and put your address on there 9 times out of 10, that legislator is going to come outside and see you.
Like
you
a
know
deer
why?
in the headlights.
Because somebody came to see him that has an opportunity to vote for them or vote for their opposition.
Yeah.
So if I talk to you on the ropes, I don't have to knock on your door during the campaign, because that counts as a voter contact as well. Thank you, Mike, for pointing that out.
And it counts as voter contact.
But that's where I hang out. I don't want everybody on the ropes, and then I can't get to them.
What's gonna happen when they call me out to the ropes and I'll be like, oh
yeah, hey,
and that was get your picture taken with them, post it on Absolutely.
Excellent.
That's a great idea.
We should do that.
And we challenge,
Council meeting meetup.
There you go.
we challenge your listeners
Now-
to post their local city council meeting or county commission meeting.
Please.
Or
Yeah.
zoning board meetings.
Ooh.
That's important too. It's a function of either the city or the county, depending on where you actually live. But I'm also hold you accountable because it was your idea.
Yes, it was.
And in where I come from, if it's your idea, you got to
own it.
And so we're gonna start doing city council meetups,
Oh.
county commission meetups, and here's the other one: school board meetups with Melissa.
I'm there.
With Melissa.
Meet Melissa D at school board and at city council meeting. I'm going to be there. And I challenge you, those of you who are not in Atlanta, start your own city council meetup.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I'm challenging, y'all going to kill me, but the other host, my fellow brothers and sisters on 108 Praise Radio, and those of you out there in media, I want to challenge you of us being a voice. Look, I'm not going to go too deep, but I'm going to tell you this. It's our responsibility. We talk about, voicing the gospel and all of that. 7 Mountain Mandate, government and media and education. Those are mandates, prophecy mandates of where we're supposed to have areas of influence. If my influence is media and their influence is government, we need to meet together to influence the people of God. I'm there. Y'all gonna meet me? We're gonna make it happen. Look, I've been called to the mat.
There you go. Let's make this happen. So when I'm at the council meeting, I want to see some familiar faces.
Yes, I love. Hey, you know what? I'm here. I'm down for that. I'm excited. I'm excited because now I've been educated. Like I do a lot of research on my own, but to hear it directly from you guys, especially going to the ropes, hey, that's something new to me.
That's a real insider secret.
I'm probably gonna get a call from my dad.
Like no, son, don't tell him that.
But I want to mention this.
Please.
I'd be remiss if I didn't make this statement that voting is like being a C student. It's average. If all you do is vote, you're not civically engaged. You're a voter. That's the most minimum thing that you can do to participate in this process. Now, advocacy, that's getting towards A, B student type stuff. Because everybody doesn't do that. Everybody doesn't do that. So taking an issue that you care about enough to actually go speak to someone that can actually make change. Now that's where the work's done. Absolutely. So I challenge you to shift. If you're just a voter now, but you have these, we have these conversations in silos, and a lot of times everybody has conversations about what needs to be fixed, what's wrong, and all this stuff. But if you're not taking that conversation to the people that can actually do something about it, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're not helping to solve the problem. So use this information that we spoke about today. Go on these websites, find out who these people are, and actually talk to them about these issues, because we also cannot make the mistake of assuming that because they live in your neighborhood, they know what your issues are. Because something that's important to you may not.
But if somebody else is going to do it, that's like the greatest mistake ever made as people, period. We always think, well, somebody else got that.
Yep.
That's like even in your household, you think, oh, somebody else gonna do the laundry or someone else gonna do dishes, and your house stinking because you ain't taking responsibility to go do your chores. But I tell my students that in training class, like I'm a trainer, a marketer by trade, and I tell people all the time, you looking around seeing who else is doing what or whatever. If you do your part,
Right.
if you do you wonder why your neighborhood look like that? Why your neighborhood look like trash? What part are you doing? Nah, y'all saying, well, why ain't the government, why ain't you send somebody to clean up these streets? Right. I will get out there, and I have done that in my neighborhood. I will get a plastic bag and go pick up in front of my neighborhood because I care that much. Well, we are worried about, well, why the schools like this, whatever. I donate school supplies to my local schools. Like, what? Peace. Do your chores.
Go inside the school every now and then.
Go, just pop up. Just pop up there. They know my name. And do they know you? I'm not even a parent. I just care about you.
She come again.
I know. I'm just, here she come. But they call them helicopter parents. Like, oh, Lord, she coming up here again, Jesus. You better be that. You better be that because it's ours. If it's ours, and if we don't care, and then you get, look, I know I'm about to go there. I'm going to say the G word again. Then we get mad when gentrification occurs and someone else comes in and cares and takes care of our community.
I got another G word for you.
What?
Gerrymandering.
Oh.
See, that's
okay. Educate the people. You can't just throw that word out there and not tell the people. You dropped the SAT word. What? Somebody said what that mean? Tell us about gerrymandering.
That's just manipulating with the districts and how the lines are drawn and people don't know about that, but you know, you have to really educate yourself on that, because that's how one side or the other gains control. And if I don't get a chance to say, I just want to tell you that this is absolutely awesome. I appreciate this opportunity that 108 Praise and that Activation Hour is giving us to have this platform, because this is very important, and we're bridging the gap between, like you said, religion, church, and politics, because it goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. I mean, why do politicians go to churches to look for votes?
Politicians be doing a church tour.
Yeah, I go to 2 or 3 churches a Sunday.
Thank you. We talked about that. It's like, look,
that's real.
But I love what he said though, and I respect you so much for this. You were like, look, because I'm not gonna call no names, but I know some politicians that go like, because they need to be seen for that minute, and then like they sneak out. I'm like, dude, he ain't even got the sermon yet. You couldn't even sit through the sermon. You done missed your benediction. We watching. I watch that stuff.
A lot of people do.
And maybe hit me up for offerings every. Like,
oh, you're gonna get
some churches 2 offerings.
If you come, participate.
If you come, if you go out, like don't just come to these churches or to these civic events, you know, kissing babies and stuff to be seen. I will call you. I have called some people out. I probably pissed some people off. If I think you just showing up for the camera. And you said like, nah, that's actually enriched me spiritually. We had a conversation about that.
More church for me. I feel better. I mean, what the preacher said one day, we got senatorial candidate Mike Glanton Jr. in the building just in time for offering. But I'm put in a position where I can't get up and leave, and then my 7-year-old goes with me sometimes, so I have to give her phone, and she's over there like all over the place, and I'm like, we just got to sit through this service, baby. It's all good.
Yeah.
But every sermon, I feel like is directed right at me.
Yeah. It's you have to establish relationship.
Absolutely.
You can't just be there for that moment and miss out on the relationship, because the funny part is, what if they called for you and you had already left early?
Oh yeah.
You said a key word. I'm gonna take the conversation and change it just a little bit, because that key word relationships is vastly important. So if you're a constituent, you should build a relationship with your elected officials as well. And so that relationship, no one likes that cousin that only calls you when they need something. And so I challenge you as constituents, don't just bother your elected officials when you need something. Sometimes call them and say, hey, you did a good job. Hey, you know what? I appreciate, I saw you at this event. I appreciate what you did. Or, you know what? I noticed there was a change in my community, and I know you had something to do that. Thank you. Take time to actually build a relationship, not just ask folks for stuff when you want it.
That's good. I think that's just reciprocity. That's like in any, people call it networking, net weaving, whatever. I think you build relationships before you need them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, you might be running for mayor.
Okay, Jesus, what you doing?
Hey, what you doing?
Nah.
You got a lobbyist right here.
You did, but it's true. I've learned, like, we talked about careers and things like that too. Like, even in careers, like I didn't know where my life was gonna go. I just built relationships like with people. I'm like, I like what that person is about. I like what they stand for, and I want to have a relationship. Sometimes I have 6 mentors. I tell y'all that all the time. I have 6 mentors because each one of them speaks to a particular area in my life, and I'll just call them on GP. Hey, how you doing? What's going on in life? Or I'll text them and say, hey, I'm reading this book. You ever read this? And they're like, oh, I never read. So just the same way you build relationships with anybody else, be genuine though, like. Just you said it. Nobody want to be called just about like what they want from you. Matter of fact, tell me what you can do for me. I remember one particular elected official. I was telling them an idea, and they said, "Okay, so like you said, you own the idea." I was like, "Okay," so I showed up to volunteer. He was like, "Oh, I didn't think you were really gonna come." I asked you about it. I'm gonna show up. So just reciprocity, man. That's all I'm gonna say about that. What else y'all got? I think this is getting good because the people really commented and said they wanted more information. There will be a part 2.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You got to bring us back out.
Yeah, there'll be a part 2. Not just here in the studio, but we're going to get out with the people.
Let's go.
Excellent.
Let's go.
That's great.
Let's go.
City Council meetup.
City Council meetup. And then I want to see everybody at the state capitol.
Yes.
It's
January.
A gold dome in the middle of downtown Atlanta.
You can't miss it.
Well, not to mention, I'm going to invite everybody back January, second Monday in January 2019 for my inauguration.
This dude. I love it, though. I love it. He is confident, and I appreciate it. Claim it. In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Don't make me
You
get
know
a
I gotta,
church
you know
shout.
I gotta keep playing.
You believe.
Usually they call it like shameless plug.
Shameless. It ain't shameless. Like, look, y'all, I'm out here. Yep, I'm doing these church tours. I done paid y'all offer. Y'all better come on, show up.
Make sure y'all vote May 22nd,
Seriously.
2018.
Vote.
Speaking of voting, also
Yes.
in the city of Atlanta, December 5th is another opportunity for you to cast your ballot. So the city of Atlanta did not elect a mayor on Tuesday.
Yes, please
There's a
tell
runoff.
people.
And so
Yes.
the top two vote getters were Mary Norwood, who's a
Yes.
city council member, and then also Keisha Lance Bottoms, another city council member.
Yes.
It's very important that you go back out. We appreciate what you did.
Females
on Tuesday,
represent.
But a lot of you didn't vote because out of 660 registered voters, 90-something thousand
94.
94,000 actually participated.
That's a
So we
shame.
got to do better. And then I'm calling out the brothers because in municipal elections specifically, black men vote at 18%. So 18% of
We
registered
gotta
black
do better.
men participate in municipal elections, and 25% of the general population participates. So this is an opportunity for a lot of people. If you didn't go on Tuesday, or even if you did, come back out on December 5th. Don't miss it, because there's a lot of things that can change and shift here in the city of Atlanta. If
In the region, not just the city.
in the
region,
entire
yeah.
region. And there's other things besides just the mayoral race that's going to be on there.
Senate.
There's a couple of state senate races and a couple of county races. So just go back
Please.
out and once again go to that mvp.sos.ga if you're here in Georgia and see who all is still up, because it's important, y'all. You got to get out there
Yeah.
and you got to vote. So anytime there's an election, you cannot afford to sit out, because there's always too much at risk. There's always too much at risk. So make sure that you definitely show up. For that.
Absolutely. And look, I'm going to end on this note, like my brother Justin Kernan said. Don't be no C student. Go beyond the vote.
Yes.
Go beyond the vote. Be an A student. Get activated. Literally, get activated.
I like that.
And engage and show up. All right, family. It's been real. Y'all are awesome. Go beyond the election. We're already doing it. We're going to be there. City council meetup. I've been called out. So stay tuned. I'll put it out there. And I love you, family. Have a phenomenal week. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. God bless you. Abundance to you and your family. Go have fun this weekend. And I'll see you back here next week on the Activation Hour with your girl, Melissa D, Minister Mel, your activation specialist on 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. Bye.